Hey, top of the morning to you. I'm Michael, or as the grandkids call me, Rue. Where have you people been? Okay? Where has one of us been? Hope you got a cuppa in your hand, a cup of something warm. Even though it's a little muggy here in the southeast, still need a little bit of coffee or tea. I'm having hot tea this morning. I'm having a cuppa of, this is builder's tea. Mmm. I need it. I feel like I have the morning voice. Good morning from Rudo Network. All right. Hey, here we go. Good to see you. I'm going to say hello to a few of you and see who's jumped on this morning. Thanks for being back. I'm going to hang out for a day and might skip a few days. I've been busy. What have I been? I've been busy. I've been a little bit hurried. I've been a little rushed, which I'm not complaining. But John Wesley, the old theologian, once said, I don't have enough time to be in a hurry. And I think that's a great line. And so I don't mind the busyness. I don't mind the work coming back. I don't mind some lives getting back to normal in this crazy time we live in. But we're going to hang in there. But I don't like hurry when I don't have enough time to be creative and have a little white space. So let me say hello to some of you, and then we'll jump online here and see what's going on. I see some folks rolling in already, and some of you jumping on board. So glad to see it. My gosh, I'm even seeing familiar faces. You know what? And I always say top of the morning. Here, let me show you the desk here real quick. I'll just show you what I'm talking about. There it is right there. Now, I painted this thing a long time ago. Well, actually, it wasn't that long ago. It was 19, it says on there. So it was last year sometime. At top of the morning to you. The first person that really turned that phrase in my mind, other than an old Scottish pastor one time, top of the morning, was a poet, songwriter by the name of Michael Kelly Blanchard. And he lives way up in Unionville, Connecticut. Has a ministry up there, and he wrote some fantastic songs through the years, and he had a song that goes, top of the morning, top of the chimney's dawning, God's made it. Anyway, I'll find it. I'll call, you know what, I'm going to send him a note, and I want to play it for you sometime. It's just so awesome, and so sometimes I just say top of the morning because it is top of the morning, regardless of when you get up. If you get up at noon, it's still top of the morning to you. So, my hand's out here in front of me today. I'm talking. Anyway, so I'm glad to have you here. I'm going to lean over here and let my camera get focused. There it is right there. Got on 2 pair of glasses again. Funny story here. These glasses were given to me by my son who works at Coca-Cola. And they were sunglasses. They wouldn't do much good now, would they? And so don't you love it when people do this and you realize, oh, there's no lens in them? And so I stepped on them, sat on them, ran over them with the truck or something. I don't remember. But anyway, one of the lenses cracked or fell out, and I took the other one out. And then one day I was getting ready to read something. And I put them on, and I went, "Oh my gosh, my eyes, something's wrong," because I can see great out there. It's just when I get in close that I needed that little boost, you know. I think it was Jeff Foxworthy who said, "I've gotten to the point where my curiosity is greater than my vanity," and so people just go, "Oh." Anyway, so now I use it for a headband for us artists with long hair. But I liked them, and so I just got these new ones, and there they are. They look just like the other ones. They're clear frames, and I kind of like them. So anyway, let me say, Irma, thank you, and thank you for your amazing gift. Some of you people are sending me things. You don't have to do that, but I think that's the cool part about a community. I know you don't. You don't have to do anything except die and pay taxes, they say. I say you have to be creative. But thank you for sending me a little carved rooster. And so many of you send me some amazing things, and you just keep up and you send notes. And wow, it's been a great community that you guys have pulled together. So Irma, thank you. Chris Whitaker, thank you very much. Whitaker, I like that name. It's Whitaker, but it's Whitaker. It looks like to me. Lisa Bryant, thank you. My camera's going to keep doing this for a little bit until I just keep jumping around here. Morning, Captain. Lisa, thank you. Beverly Edwards, Brittany, Andy, Trish, Suzanne, thank you. Some of your names I'm so familiar with. I've just sent out a lot of little Rue cards. You're getting those with the Rue 100s. I'm still painting those things. Oh my gosh. I'm not even finished yet. Here's one that's, I still have a stack on my art bar downstairs. So, been on the road for 7, 8 days and worked on a television show that I can't tell you a whole lot about, but I will as time goes on the next few months. My son's actually working on that show, and so they brought me in to build some things because I'm a maker too, and so it's fun. Like the talent, like the network it's going on, like the concept of the TV show. So I told him I wouldn't say anything. Barbara Butler, thank you. Thank you for your notes. Belinda, Kim Sheets, good grief, reunited, and it feels so good. Good morning, Rue and everyone, Viv says. Judy Skinner, Bo Showen, thank you. Patricia, Alex, and we're back. Alex, I pray you're well out there in the West Coast, my friend. Donna Barton, Patricia Brooks, good morning, Rue. Hey, thank you, and I will be in touch. See what happens when I put my finger out there, my camera goes out of focus. This is what automatic focus cameras, what are you going to do with them? They're doing their job. It's just me, the talent that won't stand still. Yay, Roo, got my cups and blueberry scone. Listen to you, Michelle. Joy, thank you for being here. Pat, Jackie, good night. All the names. Lisa, Michelle, you guys have made an unbelievable community. Lee Patkus, greetings, my friend, from Orlando, Florida. I pray you're well, buddy. I do. And thanks for getting books for your family. I hope the kids, the grandkids, and the kids they pass them on to are enjoying those. And hi from Booking, England. Don't you love that? June, looks like Eustace. Thank you for joining us from where this tea is made that I'm having today. Have a cup of Builders, Gene, and join the show. Thank you. Man, great, bold English. It's not even English tea, it's Builder's tea. This country wasn't built on chamomile, it says on the box. I love it. Good morning, Judy and Janet and Annette. Goodness gracious. That's boiling. She says boiling England, not Booking England. I love it. I love it. I like Booking England. Let's book it to England. Phil, thank you, man. I appreciate you jumping on. Denise and Karen, there's so many names here, so I'm going to jump through some because I've got to paint. That's what I do. Mike Pratt, get your axe out and sharpen that thing, man. The fall is upon us. Mike Pratt, my friend who cuts firewood as a ministry and raises funds with it to help organizations. What a cool thing some of you people do, okay? So thanks for jumping on and having time. I want you to be creative. Beverly Davis, I see some of your artwork sometime. Gets passed through some of Pat Brooks' stuff. You are a brilliant artist. Some of you guys, how do you get a 100 card? Annette, you had to watch the first 100 days, but I still will have some business cards available later. The ones that say Roo Doodles 100 on them were 100 that you had to ask for on that last 2 days of shows, and they're coming out, and they have a word on them, a cool little word that I just got to choose your word. I chose it from Galatians 5:22, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control. If you preached it that fast on Sunday, nobody would know what you said anyway, right? From Greenville, Bert, good to have you here. Man, there's just so many of you popping on. I thank you for being here. All right. Beverly had a grandson yesterday, and she's going to order a book. Well, you can read it, and you can have it memorized by the time he can understand it. But, man, congratulations. There's nothing like grandkids. Hey, let me go to the desk and get going here, okay? Here's what's on the desk. Top of the morning to you. Remember this, Roo? Showtime. And while I was cleaning off my desk this morning, look what I found. Here it is right there. There's the original B for 100 days that you guys helped me start something. Wow. It's always fun when you help other people start something, and you guys helped me start something. You really did. You helped me start something that has been genuine. It's been authentic. It's been real. I don't have to perform. I just have to be me, telling stories and connecting with you, and then you're connecting with each other. That's as real as it gets. That's community. That's community. What the world needs now. Cue the band, right? It's Love, Sweet Love. Hey, I will cue the band, but it's classical. It's just that old classical stuff. But I made a note here. I'm making another note right now. Michael Kelly Blanchard, top of the morning. I'm going to send him a note and see if he'll let me play that song for you. I'll play it anyway, and then he can just call me and fuss with me if he wants to. And this, somebody will say, hey, I heard your show on the internet. But hey, I'm telling you, you probably need some of this guy's music. Pat, thank you. We're going to be in touch with you real soon. Pat Brooks is a wizard with calligraphy and fonts and pen work. And she sent me this beautiful card, which is a card in a card. Don't you love that? Ha! I love this stuff. Number one rule is I have no rules, but there may be a rule, but it's a loose rule. Be creative. So there's your rule, but I have no rules really. So let's get started here this morning. I'm going to paint something, and I don't have anywhere to go. I got blank paper. I did paint this as a warm up. It's about time you showed up. This is on Bristol paper. It's just really slick. You probably saw the painting where I just dropped water on there and let the paint run like crazy. Have some fun doing that. As a warm-up painting this morning, I was pulling my paper down here on the floor because I'm more in my office right now with all my setup gear because I have a production studio here that I have to do for real clients. Anyway, I was turning in this 8x8 and I found this loose roux in there. Already sketched. Don't you love that? When you find something, you go, ooh, there's one. And so it's color time. I think I'm going to make him just one of those roux that I sort of feel today. You know, like I still got some bugs and wrinkles and stuff in the corners of my eyes. And my hair's a wreck. And like I'm worried about my hair, right? You know, when you reach my age, who cares, right? Okay, so just go for comfort. Except I wear collared shirts. I hadn't broken down to T-shirts. In fact, I have very few T-shirts. So here we go. I'm going to put my real glasses on. Not these because I can't see. Oh, but these. And then, oh, there it is. There's the roux. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to pull this down here. And Chip Furr, glad you're back, buddy. And let's talk. Got to come to your place and do a live stream from there about some coffee and one for you. So maybe the end of this week, let's talk. Call me after the show. Amy, thank you. Authentic you are. Amy is sweet. Thank you. And yes, Pat is amazing, Michelle. Thank you very much. Miss Carla, you're here. Hope, I don't know what you guys are doing. The schools are trying to start. They don't know whether to start. We don't know whether to jump in the boat or the lake, you know. That's kind of where we are. So let me do this. I'm going to warm up with this painting right here this morning. All I'm going to do is I'm going to use my bamboo brush. And by the way, I'm still working on roux 857. It's coming. The painting instructional, encouraging time is coming. Some of you have signed up for it. Here's what's going to happen. This week, as a matter of fact, today's Wednesday. Tomorrow, my wife, my daughter and I are spending several hours in setting up a new format by which you'll be emailed information and the start, and also a place where you can opt in for the instructions to be sent, the page that you'll need to know about, and then all the payment arrangements. It's a class that's going to run 4 weeks, then take a break. Run 4 weeks, take a break, run 4 weeks. You can opt in, opt out at any time after those 4 weeks. It's $8.57 a session, and we're going to talk about details. We're going to start with the roux because I want you to find your own voice. I want you to find your own place that is your style, whether it's whimsical. You know, we're just going to work with watercolors, and but I'm going to start with the roux because that's what I do. And we're going to talk about how to sketch this and how to sketch that, and do some exercises, and start with something simple. Remember my story? I went with Lee and Zen one time to paint roosters, and he said, you love my class, Mr. Rooster Painter, because today we paint fish. So I think we may start with something really wild, like a balloon or a tomato. You're going like, well, wait, I got on to paint roos, but you got to paint small before you can run, okay? Walk before you can run. So that's coming up. So if some of you, I have all the addresses, or I have all the emails you sent me about roux 857. That's the class that's coming up. I'm loosely calling it a class. And you'll be getting a note from me in an email address that says, respond to this, and then you'll get the packet. Here's how you enroll, and here's the start date. It'll be in the early part of September that we'll start that, okay? It's coming. It's happening. I'm excited. Hey, Rebecca Parker, thank you. Terry Tardy, don't tell Aaron I left her live to watch yours. Okay, I'm not saying it. Terry, I'm not saying it. Terry, look, I'm not saying it. There. I didn't say it, Terry. I just put it on the screen. Okay. Terry Tardy, I hope you're well. She's my friend in Coos Bay, Oregon. Almost dipped my cup. I hadn't even been back for 20 minutes. Almost dumped my brush in my tea, which is okay. All right, so here we go. I want this to be kind of a rough, burly-looking roux. He's got this expression on him that he's looking out there like, what? I had to get up this early for this? May have a coffee cup in front of him. I don't know. So I'm just going to start with some water. No, first I think I'm going to start with a little more pen here. I'm just going to go in with my speedball pen and just put a little more ink in here. I like this ink because it runs. So don't be afraid to start. Just start somewhere. Just be creative. That's what we're going to talk about in the first class. It's Rue 857, and that's coming up soon. I'm going to keep painting in the mornings. I'm going to paint probably Mondays and Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays I think I'm going to do the class. People are asking me, if I'm working then, can I see the class later? Yes, you'll have a link to get you into the site that the class is going to be on, and then you can watch those for a period of time. So that's how that's going to work. A lot of information, but I found out it's more information than I thought to do this. Yes, it's a ton of work, but I'm excited about it. Okay? So, hey, Carol Marsley, I thought of you yesterday. I hope you're healing great and you're up and rolling around. And I saw the rooster that I said I was going to mail to you is still lying on my desk because I've been on the road. So don't panic, my friend, like you're going to panic, right? But I'm going to mail it to you. Thank you. A good morning to you that you're here. Glad that you're watching. All right. Jane Grey makes me think of Zane Grey. Ah, yes, the old great. All right, so I'm just going to, Western writer of all time, I'm just going to put some water in here. Take a look at what's happening. See, the water is just melting away the ink. I've added no paint, so to speak, to this, but I certainly have added a lot of water. And watch what it's doing. Don't you just love that? I love it. I love it. I'm just a little bit up here, not as much. Now I'm just going to take a little bit of this red paint, and I've already sprayed my colors up a little bit here with a little mist bottle. I did that while I was sipping my first cup of tea, or my first sips of tea. Sound like I've had too much tea already, right? I got out of practice painting with you guys every day. I sort of got into the mold, and I got into a groove, and I got comfortable, and that's why I stopped. Because now I feel like my adrenaline's back up, and I'm opening something brand new. Yet last week on the television show that we were working on, I'm going like, wow, this is unfamiliar territory. Hadn't done this in many years, and hadn't done some of the things were brand new for me. Not the building that they asked me to come in on, but some of the things I was working on, and it gave me great adrenaline and like a nervousness, and I put that to the task and said, okay, here's where we're going with this. So. It made me create and think faster, I think. It's fast brain is good. All right, I like the black in this tail. I'm going to put a little of this turquoise in here because I saw Terry Tardy on the show and just gave her a hard time there. Wow, Skeeter Pal, I came in late. Yeah, that's okay, Skeeter. You don't live far away, so you can just drive up and we can talk about the first part. And sorry you came through my city and I was in another city last week. Thanks for calling me. That way it wasn't long distance for you. So he drove through Charlotte last week and sent me a note and I was in another city. I make images of roosters from old textiles, Jane says. Jane, I want to see some of those. So that sounds pretty exciting. And listen to this. Linda says, see, I knew, she says, I knew you would miss us all. Of course I missed you all. You guys have been a community. So of course I did. But had some things that I had to do, Had to go build something. Had to, I did start something new. I got to show you this. I'm interrupting myself to interrupt myself. That's why you like this show, right? Look at this. While I was traveling, I didn't really sketch but like 2 roosters the whole time I was traveling. I did do about 20 of the little cards. Got some of those out. I got some more to go. This is a little journal Bible. It's just the book of Matthew that was given to me a few months back at a conference where I was, and I'll show you what it's like. It has the writing on this side, and then it just has a page here to paint on, just a blank page. See that? Every page is like that. So you turn another page, here's the writing, here's a blank page. Here's the writing, here's a blank page. So I went, that's screaming for my style of watercolor. Whimsical, suggestive, remembering. So for me, I think I showed you one of these a while back. So the first one was the whole root system and genealogy. So I painted a tree, and then I painted the behold, the Annunciation, there's that. And then I went to Bethlehem, just pen and ink. And so then I went to Ramah. Wow, hard thing for me to remember, but this is a woman crying for her children. And then there's a very bad, you sons of snakes. Here's the axe into the root of the tree. Here's the high place. Anyway, so you see what I'm doing. This is the Mount of Beatitudes, and here's the salt shaker. So here's, you know what these are about when you see them. Here's big words, empty words, and make up any phrases. This is like you're giving to people. No fanfare, just give. This is the eye. I painted this one yesterday. Look at this. My bird showed up in here. It says, consider the birds. Hey, put some of that in the barn. Back off. Our Heavenly Father feeds us. Stop acting like the Pope. You're just a cardinal. Don't be anxious. Let tomorrow take care of itself. So if I look at this picture, I got the whole story. So that's what I've been doing in here. It's been kind of fun. And these are just crude little quick sketches. And that's what I want you to learn in 857. I want you to get a handle on journaling and writing it down and getting it in your head and then moving forward from there. And then don't rush. Did you hear that? Don't rush your style. Let your voice be found. And you will find that out when you start doing this enough, okay? All right, so that's a little more on 857. It's going to happen. Hey, I'm going to mix up a little paint for the legs of this roof, so I'm going to grab a little bit of yellow here, come up here in this pan that I just sort of keep open for mixing. There it is right there. I think I'm mixing it right in my face, aren't I? Here, let me move it over a little bit, okay? Just touch a little bit of that red right there. Whoa, remember, it doesn't take much of that. There's some nice orange. And you go, why don't you just use orange? Because I like these other colors in there, just sort of layered in. That's a little of that gray. Here's a little bit of, I don't know what that is. And do I care? No. Okay, but I like it. I like the color. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, so there's the foot color right there coming out. I kind of like that. I'm going to go and pick up a little more yellow just in that same brush. Go in here and do this, and then I'm going to drop a little of that yellow just right in here and let some of the red mingle with that. I think what I'm going to do is put a drop of water there, just a heavy drop, and I'm going to touch it, a little touch of blue right there and a little blue down here also. I'm just sort of making this up as I go, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, he had a plan. No. Didn't have a plan. Just decided to kind of come in and let some of it just go where it wants. And what I'm doing here is just touching my colors in here with a little more water because that's going to stain the paper, and that's the look that I want here. I want this to just be rough. I may get a little bit of gray. I don't use a lot of gray, but sometimes underneath the roof, what I call the bottom end, where he drags the barn lot, gets the oil from the tractor when he lays down and dusts himself down there. You got to watch roosters every now and then. You know what roosters know about time? People think roosters crow in the morning. They don't. Roosters don't have watches. They don't know what time it is. They just crow when they want to crow. They wake up. They wake up like the rest of us. They night might get slow, but I've heard them crow at midnight. I've heard them crow first at noon. They just do what they want to do. I think that's why they're good storytellers. I really do. Now, I'm going to take this pen right here, which is my needlepoint 07, and I'm just going to doodle in the edge of this. I want some feathers and strings coming off this string. I call them strings. They look like strings, but they would be little pin feathers. I just want them coming off this roof so he looks like he's woolly. I want him to look like, here, this is my John the Baptist rooster here. He's got on locusts. All right, so he's coming through here. Beverly said she loves that Bible. She just ordered it. Oh, great. That's a good thing. It's kind of fun. By the way, Beverly, the pages are really thin, so I'm backing off my colors. Just touch it. If you don't, you'll buckle the page and it'll run through. So you'll have some fun with that. Olivia, are you on the page? Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here, my artist friend. Olivia, can I just say this without embarrassing you? I've been watching you cook. Olivia is a young lady who I met at a camp last summer, and we got to paint together, and she is just a marvelous young artist coming to be. And her mom and dad are really creative. They were there as a part of this camp as doctors. And so their children, I got to hang out with their children some. And so have meals with them. Carol and I had meals with them. And so they are amazing, and their palette is amazing. But thank you for watching today. How fun is that, Elania? Whoa! And Luke and Miller, you're watching too? I still have video of you three eating salad, more salad than any children I've ever seen eat. I love it very much. So, good to see you on the show. Every now and then I look up and something catches me, and I go, oh my gosh, there's somebody I need to say hi to, so thank you. Mark Goodson? Brother, blessings. Great to have you here on the show this morning. I'm so glad you're here. This has been a fun show to do, and brother, I think of you often, love seeing your post, pray for you. Some old young life buddies. It's been a tough year for camping, just around the country with COVID, man. Absolutely tough. I've been doing a lot of videos for some camp stories, and it's just been a tough year. All right, so this guy's getting a little woolly here. By the way, if you can see this move, look, this is still moving. See that paint run on there? I love that because of what happens. And sometimes I may just blow that out a little bit. Just kind of blow it in, and maybe take my maybe more of a dry brush. I'm just using a paper towel here, lighten my brush up a little bit, and just sweep some of that up into here and let it dry. Then I'm going to let this dry. We're going to come back to it in a minute. But this is a good warm-up painting for me today. And don't get in a hurry with your paintings. Look, it's not oil paint, so it's going to be dry before 3 weeks, those of you who are oil painters. It's watercolor. I'm going to put a little yellow splatter in this tail because I think it needs it. Right in there. I think that adds to his roughness. I wanted this guy to look like he just crawled out from under the tractor. Maybe a little dirt splatter around the edges right here. He's still got this face on him. His eye looks a little bit, it's almost one of these eyes. The eyebrows up a little bit. He's looking at you like, what's the big deal? What's all the ruckus about? And so he hasn't spoken to me yet. And those of you who think, did that guy just say his paintings speak to him? Yes, I did. In an artistic way, of course. You got to be a little strange to be an artist, and that's what you're going to have to get comfortable with. And you're going to have to be a little bold in selling yourself as an artist because no one else is going to sell you. So get out there and have some fun. Barbara says that painter ruined the rain in South Florida. Hey, Linda, I appreciate your suggestions for me to put a paper. Nah, it ain't going to happen. Okay. Linda's a great idea, though. She says, sometimes this will do this. Kilimanjaro paper does this. I'll tell you what she's talking about right here. Kilimanjaro paper in between their pages. Hey there. Whoa, my gosh. I didn't know that was in there. Look, Pop, we made us a sand farm. Let's try to use only beach words today. I wonder where I was. I must have been at the beach when I painted that. That's funny. I hadn't been at the beach in a while. So, all right. So on a piece of Kilimanjaro paper, like here it is right here. This is wonderful 140-pound bright white Kilimanjaro. This is 100% rag cotton. This is from Cheap Joe's. It's 10 by 5.5, but it's an awkward size. But you get used to doing little stories on this. And this is the paper that I started on. This is the paper that I actually started painting. My first watercolors to sell on was on this paper. I painted in smaller journals. But once you paint this, once you paint it here, then I can put a piece of paper over it like this. So this actually comes with a thin layer of paper to sort of help protect it. For my other pages, the reason I don't do that is I just paint one in the morning and I'm off and running, and I just leave it lay there and dry. So it's low maintenance if I don't have to go get the paper. But Linda, I appreciate your creativity. I know you guys are thinkers and you're planners and you're artists, and everybody's going to have their own style. Does that make it right? Does that make it wrong? No. That's the grace about creativity. Did you hear that? That's the grace about creativity as you go. I say it all the time. I've said it for 100 days. This is not fine art, but it's fine for me. Fine for me. Fine for me. You know what that sounded like? Andy Griffith. Yeah, that's just fine for me, Barney. I love that one. I want the one on the beach. All right, Irma, you can send me a note. I didn't even know it was there. Look, Pop, we made a sand farm. Don't you think that's funny? Let's try to use only beach words today. I think we need to liven up his. I don't know when I painted this. We're liven up his wine there. It's a little washed out. So we just add a little Merlot in there. That's the Merlot color right there. If I were naming this, I'd call it Merlot. Maybe that's a little. Yeah, it's way darker than something on the table like Chianti or something like that. I don't even know my wines. That's my wife's department. She's the wine connoisseur. Little splatter there. I like where this Roux's going. He's got some little. Speaking of tie dye, man, while I was in Knoxville, my wife sort of ran a grandkid camp while we were doing some work, and she and my daughter-in-law did the coolest. Well, they didn't do them. They helped the kids do the coolest tie dyes. I mean, it took me back to Peace, Love, and Bobby Sherman, 1970. They were awesome. Those kids, they waited. They let the colors go in deep. They left them in there for like 24 hours and then rinsed them out. They were magical. Like far out, dude. All right. I like this rooster. All right, I'm going to let him dry, and then we'll come back and see what he's saying. And I may not even do anything to the sky. Just let the splatter stay there. I'm kind of liking it. I even like this red that ran up into the beak. Some things happen accidentally in watercolor, and don't try to fix it. Don't try to fix everything. Just let it be. Let it be. All right, I got to find another piece of paper. Let's see what I want to paint on right now. Let's paint on that. Let's paint on this stuff I had right here. Here we go. I'll paint another painting this morning on this. This is the Kilimanjaro. Comes on a ring. I like this, but sometimes this gets in my way. So there are days that I rip it out before I start, and there are other days that I don't. In this case, I did. And we'll just throw it over there. So white Kilimanjaro paper. If this bothers you, just trim it. Myrtle, thank you for joining. I could have a matte knife on my desk, but I have a pocket knife. I hope that doesn't offend you. If it does, you're watching the wrong cowboy paint. Okay? All right. Ooh. Life is good. I reckon, Judy. Fine for me, too. Jack Wolfenbarger, hello, buddy. Glad you're here. All right. All right, so here we go. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Man, some of you guys are just happening here. Olivia says, Eliana is taking an art class for the next 2 weeks and using watercolors yesterday. Look at that. I love it. Eliana, you keep going, girl. You already have it in your soul. You're going to be an artist. You're going to be a chef. You're going to be an artist. You are already as creative as they get. Your whole family is. And Luke and Miller, thanks for watching today. How fun. Love being with them. I'd sit in a rocking chair sometimes with Eliana, and we would paint outside this camp and in the mornings after breakfast before the events took place. Man, was it fun. Great kids. Okay, what kind of pen are you using? Donna, man, I talk about that in the first 100 days. Oh, but wait, I've already painted 100 days. In the new days, I love pens because, and I'll do this really in 857 when I start my painting class. I'm going to go through a whole series of pens. You use the pen you're comfortable with. Never go anywhere without a pen. Don't go anywhere without a pocket knife. Don't go anywhere without some paper to write on. And by the way, I framed my Joe Miller. Listen to this. I received a Joe Miller original whiskey painting. Yes. 20 inches square. It's already in a bone shadow box. Sent him a note already. It's amazing. I mean, I walk by there and I just stop and I go, are you kidding me? Thank you, Joe Miller. It's just fabulous. The whiskey painters were people who carried little tins of paint around and small brushes, and they would dip into their vest pocket, and then whatever drink they had on the bar, their bourbon, their whatever they were drinking. You know, I know so many drinks because I'm a teetotaler. They would dip in, and me, I dip in the tea, and they would paint something. But it had to be only 4 by 5 inches. It couldn't be bigger than that. That's the rule for whiskey painters. And so they gave them away during the society. There's only 50 whiskey painters in the country. The organization only keeps 50 members at one time. So someone either has to die or drop off before another person can be in the lineup. And you can be nominated for it, but you might be in the lineup for years. It's a crazy concept. And I love it. I found out about it several years ago because I carry these little cards and I carry little small paints. For me, the difference between watercolor pigment and speedball ink in a fountain pen is very fine line. And so for me, that's why I carry pens that I really like. So you should just go into an office store, and some of you have heard me say this over and over again, and just say, I want to try out some pens. Take in the paper that you color on. Don't take in the paper that they have there, or use what they have. It's slick, velumy, creamy. You know, any pen's going to feel good there. This is watercolor paper. Not all pens work well on watercolor. It takes a heavier ink if you're using a fountain pen to work on watercolor because it's got a tooth, it's rough. And you can tear up a felt pen very quickly. This pen's called a stylus from my friends out in the Nelsons out in Washington on the West Coast. And but I love this pen because I love the way it bleeds, and I like the concept of how I can paint with it and draw with it, but you see how it breaks up a little bit as you start to put it on here. And what I love about that, though, is I love the fineness of how it breaks down already. Just sketch this thin little roux here like so, and maybe this rooster here has got, this is kind of the roux that I do in my books when I sign my books to send them out to people. I put a little roux with a paintbrush. And so I didn't know where this painting was going at all. I don't know where any of my paintings are going when I start, but I think there's a hen standing over here, and she's a little fluffy, buff Orpington-looking hen, you know what I mean? She's got some, she looks like she weighs 75 pounds. You pick her up, she's 1.5 pounds. That's just how God made her feathers. I was taking a walk in Knoxville with my son and his wife the other day, and with their new dog. My gosh, an Aussie doodle, a sheepdog looking blue, just a gorgeous dog. And I'm walking through there, and we walk by a house, and right on the edge of the street is a chicken house. And there are all these buff Orpingtons, and they're all just in the yard. I'm going like, and my grandson said, man, that's a big chicken. And I said, if you could pick that chicken up, the thing wouldn't weigh 1 pound or 1.5 pounds. It's just his feathers were fantastic. So, made me think of this right here. So there we go. So there's a little scene right there that I just painted with the stylus pen. So that's a felt tip, but it bleeds a little bit, and so does this Pentel needle point. Okay, I don't like roller balls necessarily. This is a needle point. It has a tiny ball, but so you'll see a lot of Pentels, except for this new pen. Yeah, you go away for a few days, and this is going to blow your mind. It's a Pilot. It's a Pilot. It's called a Kakuno, Kakuno. And it's a fountain pen, and it's very inexpensive, and man, does it do great. I love it. In fact, I'll use it right here a little bit to just pick up a little black in here. And I took a chance on it for a whole $16, I think is what I paid for it. So, whereas a pen like this can cost you, anywhere from $35 to $230 for a fountain pen like that. I've got a Lamy somewhere on the deck. I don't know where it is today because I haven't cleaned up in here in a month. I've been on the road, still writing scripts, and got a lot of work to do, which is I'm blessed to be doing that. That's kind of fun. So there we go. There's our little scene. We're going to paint this today, and I think I see a caption coming on already here. Yep, I feel it coming on. Here we go, right here. I'm going to put... All right. Here we go. Let's make little tracks here. Let's paint this. Got quiet in here, and let me just roll in a little red right here. Roll in a little wattle. They both have, he has a comb. They both have combs. The rooster's comb's a little more defined, as you know. I don't have to tell you anything about chickens. It's not a birds and bees show. People tell me all the time, oh my gosh, can you have eggs without roosters? Yes. You go, oh, I thought you had to have a rooster to have chickens that could lay eggs. No, chickens lay eggs all the time. Well, not all the time. They lay about one a day. And they only lay for about 200 80, 90, maybe you might get 300 eggs out of a hen, but after that, she's pretty much done. And then you can just let them farm out on your place, or that wasn't the way it was where I grew up. They became friars, and but we won't go there for you people who have them as pets. But hey, I don't think about those when I go into Chick-fil-A. Got to call it like it is, people. Okay. Good morning, Michael from Sheila Nelson. I was just talking about you. I talked about my pen. I'm still using it, Sheila. Hope you guys are well. Jenny Butts, I still have your painting because I went on the road and haven't finished it. Woo-hoo-hoo. Have you ever mixed watercolors with pastels? No, I have not, but my wife does all the time. She does oil pastel sticks. She does oil painting. She does very little acrylic. But oil and water, they don't mix too well. But now pastels that are chalk, those will mix in. Arlen Edmonds says, what kind of TV show do you do? I can't tell you that right now. I don't do any TV show as you would know it. I went and worked on a show that's coming out next year, and they asked me to build things for the show. And so that was kind of a fun project. I'll tell you more about it as I can. When they say that, hey, don't talk about it, I don't talk about it. So, but it's going to be fun. And Michelle says, you had me at whiskey. And we've talked about, Chinoa, thank you. We've talked about our roux painters. And in fact, I have a friend that has given me a name for it already. So thank you for your comments already. Lavender Buff Orpingtons are out of sight. No kidding. All right, here we go. I'm liking this bird with a lot of orange and blue in him here. He's going to contrast the other bird pretty well. So I'm just going to get a little bit of gray in here. I don't know. I'm not using a color wheel today, but I don't think they're bad ideas. I think I wanted just a little bit of this gray up in his tail, though. Maybe I'm painting myself today, huh? Put a little gray in your mane. All right, so there we go. Now we'll get some of this yellow put in here. You see what's happening with that pen. You asked me about a pen, and this is what I tell everybody who's been watching my show for 100 days or more. The pen is going to bleed, and so the lines will soften up, and they sort of fade into the watercolor, and you get that mixed pigment, which is what you were probably asking me about the pastels and the watercolor. So, the fun part is you're experimenting. You're just creating. Just go mess up some paper and stuff and say, ooh, I like that. What did I do? You might have to have a notebook laying by where you take a note or two, because I'll forget what I did. And so that's the part that always I go like, what was I thinking that I would remember this? So I didn't do that. Now, what you saw right there is I washed my brush out, but that's just that pen bleeding, okay? So now I'm just going to put a little of this blue in here like this, and then I'm going to put the blue in here under the bucket like this. I think you see where this is going. And then I'm going to go here, and I'm going to just get a little bit of a damp. I'm painting with a number 1 bamboo brush, piece of bamboo with some boar's hair in the end of it. Nylon brushes are just fine, I'll tell you. You know what? For watercolor, nylon will lay watercolor down just perfectly. So don't feel like you got to have a $200 sable brush to do $30 painting with. Something wrong with that in my world. I appreciate you doing it and loving it and working on it. And if you want to do that, that's great. I don't try to spend an outrageous amount on painting supplies, but I try to get the best painting supplies I can for the money. I don't think I've ever done this painting. I know I haven't. That's kind of fun. I'm doing something I've never done before. Throwing in a new pen here. This is a discontinued pen. It's an ultrafine flare. They made this one before Flare sold out to Brute, which is the trash can company, and all their pens turned into garbage. They're not one of my sponsors yet, but I would change if they want to call the show. Okay. Um, all right, so I'm going to paint. I may paint again Friday this week. Um, Not going to paint tomorrow. I've got some running to do, and then I'm going to paint probably Monday, Tuesday of next week again, and then it'll be soon till I'll start painting normally again, probably on Mondays and Tuesdays, and Wednesdays I'm going to pick up on Rue 857. It's called. My other paintings will be in the mornings around 8:57 or 9, but Rue 857 is a different page. It's a page that's just set up like a Facebook page, but it's a different page that you have to have a link to get into. And if you want to be a part of that instructive, encouraging time of what pens I'm using, what colors I'm using, and going in little piece by little piece at a time, telling you to go back and draw that or do this right now and stop there and hold it and let that dry for a minute and touch this. I'm going to go in through sort of how I paint Rues and how I got to where I am starting 10 or 12 years ago and got to here in my whimsical style. You can take that and branch off into your own style. It's 8:57 in the mornings on a Wednesday, we think, right now. But also, if you're working then, you can't get to it then, the show will be up for you to watch. It's going to be produced like you see here, probably another camera to give you some more close-up on what I'm doing with the brushes. So I'm putting some technology, more technology into it. But it's $8.57 per session, or $34 something a month. I just thought that'd be a fun thing, and that's affordable for you to say, you know what, I'm going to try it for a month and see if it works. I'm going to try 3 months and see if it works. And we'll take on different projects, and we're going to use my art to go through how you might could learn. And so that's what Rue 857 is going to be called. So I'll still do these shows that are free to anyone who wants to watch in the public, and then I'll do my painting course. Of course, it's not a course, but it's a course. You understand? Without being coarse. Builder's tea right there from London. Boiling. It's boiling in London, Gene says. I love that very much. So if you want to be on the Rue 857 course, the list for the class, send me an email. You still got some time to sign up for that. And then this week we'll be sending out emails. Maybe the first part of next week I'll be sending out emails that will tell you all the information you need to know about it, how to sign up, where it's going to be, how to pay, all that good stuff. Okay, that's coming. And I'm excited about doing that. I really haven't done anything like that. I've taught people how to weld. I've taught people how to blacksmith. I've taught people how to build things in their backyard for their kids, working on some of that for this season, doing a little thing. I'm going to build a fort in my backyard. Another one, I've got one there now that's a teepee, and I'm going to rebuild that teepee so people can see how I built this one. It's such a cool teepee, and so I'm going to do that online. So I like this just kind of like it is right now. I'm going to put a little detail in here, put a little spur there. Roosters have spurs, not like cowboys have them, but close. They'll cut you. Okay. I wrote something on that bucket that you'll never be able to read, but I know what it says. It says French blue. Okay? French blue is shorter than spelling out ultramarine. Okay? I think the caption on this is going to swing right here, across here. I need something. I need a circle. What I have up here. This is what you do sometimes when you just reach for stuff. Let's see what I have. Do I have anything in here? Oh, here's a roll of tape. That might be big enough. Let's see if this is big enough. Yeah, that might do it. Let me put it right here. Just take a small little pencil, run it across here like this. I think I'm going to put it right there. Roll around like this. That's kind of cool. Yeah, I just thought of that right then. I'm going to write the caption here. I'm going to sign this right here. RueDoodles.com. 20. Put some little detail in here. I like this eye bold a little bit. And this is going to say, actually I'm going to come back to it. I'll show you what it's going to say in just a minute. And I put a ton of water on this painting. And I don't think I'm going to let it change. So look at this. It's still a little wet. See all the water I dropped on this painting? I'm going to let this roll out here on the painting a little bit. I love it when it does that. It just sort of blows and rolls over. Okay. always say that, but then I realize I'm the only one talking, right? Some days life is tough, just tough. But, there you go. Ha ha! See what I did there? I put that conjunction in there. Some days life is just tough, but some days life is tough, but some days life is tough, but you feel it in. Ooh. Don't you love it when the music sort of matches the painting? Some days life is tough, but community's good. God is good. I'm alive. I'm on this side of the grave. I have friends. I have art. I have connections. I'm being creative. Wow, you fill in the blanks right there. I like this. This is 8 by 8. I like this painting. But I say that about a lot of my paintings. I like this painting. I know you know. I hope you know my heart there. That I don't say it just to be arrogant. I say it because I do. I like the painting. It makes me smile, and that's what my paintings are supposed to do. They're supposed to make you smile a little bit. They're supposed to make you think about life a little bit, and just be saying, "Hey, I could do that. I bet I could do that." All right. Now I got to see if I can lay my hand down on this. And here's where that sheet of paper comes in, Linda, that you were talking about. You got to be very careful with it though, because usually. I'll let the water dry just a little bit before I'll do this, but I'm going to put this piece of paper right here just like this, and I'm going to lay my hand on it. And then I'm going to say, I'm going to write on this. And let's erase the little line there. Just wanted to see that curve go out. I just felt like I didn't want to write this caption. There's the caption. See what it says? Stand still. This is going to look great on you. Yeah, you know what? My wife, I go with her, shopping with her sometimes. She has impeccable taste in fashion and yes, jewelry, clothes, colors, design, the whole thing. Sometimes she'll say, how's this look? I'm going like, wait. You're really asking me how it looks on you? You got to be kidding me. You can't do that to me. I paint roosters. You don't want me to answer that question. But but you know what? The thought of me being there, I think is kind of fun. And so, all right, there we go. That's it right there. That's a painting right there. I don't even know if I'm going to splatter this one because here's why I don't think I'm going to is because I think I like the crispness of this piece of paper. Stand still. This is going to look great on you. I do need a little color, and I need my little bitty brush. Where is it? Right here. My little fix-it brush. I think I'm going to use a green handle, like just kind of like my American Journey brush there. It had the green handles. I get used to those. I'm just going to use this and put a little bit of green in the handle right here. Ha! All right. Hey, let me respond to a few comments, and then I'll be gone for the day. I need a little bit more red in there, though. See, just when you say, yes, I'm done with that, you always pick up the brush and add a little bit more. There's a time when you say, put the brush down and back away from the easel. Okay, in this case, my easel is flat because I like painting watercolor on a flat surface. I think you know why. Water goes everywhere. This, of course, is the pen that I carry in my pocket all the time. You see me get that out sometimes and write with it. It's actually a brother to this pen. They came in a set. This one is adapted to Speedball ink, which is fountain pen. I like Speedball because it's runny, it's wet, it's dark lamp black. And this one has the refill in it. Had to do a little customization with the spring, but this refill is the exact refill that goes in this pen. Okay, so I still stay with that pen tail. So if I'm ever out and about and I need to sketch with a pen, I have this one in my pocket all the time. And this, you can see, right? There are a couple things that I carry in my pocket at all time besides a pocket knife. And one of them is this pen, and one of them is this silver dollar right there. So that stays. It's a 1972. Most of the time I carry 1974, which is the year that we got married, and so I carry them in my pocket all the time. My wife's father always carried a silver dollar in his pocket. Now my boys all carry silver dollars in their pockets, and my grandkids all have silver dollars. And my friend Mark Langston, who is out in Colorado, one day wanted to buy a rooster from me, and he's just been a dear friend for years, a musician that actually traveled me around Southeast some when we did things, him and Billy. And he said, "Hey, what's that cost a good friend?" And I said, "It's going to cost you $5 silver all in the 70s. And he goes, "Where am I supposed to get that?" And I go, not my problem. And about 3 weeks later, this envelope comes. I'm going like, oh my gosh. And inside were all these silver dollars duct taped up. And he'd been running back and forth to banks and getting me some silver dollars. So thanks, Mark. It's been fun. I wanted to make sure my kids had some because I can't give my wife's collection of silver dollars from her family. Okay, there we go. That's the painting right there. That's a painting. Here's a painting. And someone spoke for. I'll cut this edge off. And then this painting is going to appear this morning on my site. Some days life is just tough, but there you go, right there. I'm not going to sell this painting. This was my today's time-lapse warm-up. It's just about time you showed up, so I'm going to throw that over there. I did that for the start on the show. Anyway, thank you for being here. And yes, we always my wife has just shown up on the show. And I was just talking about her. I didn't see it. And now I'm telling her my wife, and she says, yes, because she is awesome. My wife is a dear soul. She's the artist that turned me onto art. I got to tell you, she took me to a museum when our daughter was under 2. We rode a train from North Carolina to Washington, and I just stayed outside and said, I don't want to go into a place and look at big paintings. I don't get it. And so it was years later in London and then in France and in New York that I fell in love with big paintings. And then I fell in love with artists. And she was an art major in college. And so that's why they called her Crayola, because she did some art projects with crayons. But sometimes she'll say, you want to be me. And there's a tongue-in-cheek there, but honestly, blessed woman, I'm a blessed man. So there you have it. I didn't know you were on here, so that's fun. Patricia Brooks says her silver dollar is 1974. That's funny. All right. Hey, if you guys have silver dollars, keep one in your pocket at all times, and that way you might have to throw it at something. I thought about throwing one across the Delaware when I was up there, but I didn't. Okay. Crayola is pretty awesome, Lisa. Thank you very much. All right. So, hey, you guys have given me a great day to jump on again. Okay, so you know what? Also, the silver dollar is good for. Here's what it's good for right here. If I trace it, if I just go around it with a pen like this. Look at this. I go around it here like this. It's got a little, the silver ones have a little grip on the edge. I go around it like this. Then I come over here and go around it like this. Maybe this is why I carry a silver dollar in my pocket. I don't know. So I go here. I can tie this together like this. Here's the. Oh, man, I cut the paper with my knife. My knife was doing better than I thought. Look at that. So I come across here. I come down, I drop down into here, go here, put the crank in. Here's the chain for the bicycle, the seats here. And I can put a roue on a bicycle. See there? There you go. Hey, don't waste any time when you're doodling. And that's what I do. I doodle, and thank you guys for watching me and being with me. Roue 857, you still got a little bit of time to sign up, probably less than a week. And then we'll get all the information turned out. Many of you have already, so I'm going to look forward to having you on the show with me. All the information will come to you. You'll know where the link is. You'll know how to get on. You'll know how to pay for the class. You'll know where to pick up some supplies if you want. You can use your own supplies. You don't have to use the supplies that I suggest. I'm just going to make a suggestion of supplies of what I might be using. So if you want to say, ooh, that's the bamboo brush that he's using, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I've done both, where I've had a class under an artist where I had to not in school because I never had any art in school, but later I went to a seminar for a few days where I had to have the brush that he painted with. And I got to tell you, once I started painting with a bamboo brush and saw what it could do with the amount of water it carries, I love it. Now, you can pick up water anywhere, but and I even still will use a spray bottle sometimes, which was one of the things that I used in the class. I sprayed paint, let it roll. And so, all right, look for it, folks. I'm blessed to be a part of this with you. Thank you for jumping on board and being here with me for Roo Doodles Live. Thanks for liking my page. Thanks for sharing my page with family, friends, and Olivia, you're going to send me a note. I want to know about your art class. Man, how fun is that, okay? And Luke and Miller, you too. Hope you guys are well. I mean, Eliana. I'm sorry, I said Olivia. But Olivia, you said it for your kids to me. Thank you very much. Another fun, encouraging show. Thank you, Pat Brooks, and I'll be in touch. Not right away, running off this morning, I think. Let me check my schedule. Skeeter Pal, yes, sir. Thank you, brother, and I'll be in touch. In fact, I have another check I need to send you down for the art supplies for your group at David's Table, and this community has been very great at blessing the kids we painted with a while back with Skeeter's group out of Greenville, South Carolina, David's Table, with disabilities, and somebody paints with them every day, so we've been getting supplies for some of them and also for the young man who's teaching the class. So what a gift that you all have done for the community there. Thank you very much. I'll look forward to being in touch. Can't wait for 8:57. Me either. I'm going to look forward to having all that set up because it's way over my head. Does it look like I'm organized? And now if my wife's on, she's going to say, no, you should see behind the scenes here. It's a wreck. That's not that bad this morning. I cleaned up a little bit last night. All right, I'm out of here. Thank you very much. I usually keep a harmonica here on the desk somewhere just for kind of closing out the show. Not that I'm going to play a song, but I don't even, there it is right there. I just kind of blow it because I wanted to have one of those television ending notes.